Hey, welcome back to another episode of Keeping Your Business on Track. Today I'm here with a special guest, one of our top loan officers, Scott Dunn. Thanks for coming in, Scott.
No problem, Joe.
Scott, so we have a really awesome topic today. We're talking about VA loans,
Right.
and more specifically, we're talking about what's considered a jumbo VA loan. But before we get into any of that, you were in the service for how long?
I was in the Air Force for a little over 21 years.
21 years. Well, thank you for your service.
Oh, my honor.
Tell me about that much time in the service. I mean, what was that like? You know, what were some of your experiences there?
It was great. I mean, got to travel all over, and do some really cool stuff that you can't really disclose, but it was fun for sure.
Good.
For sure.
What was your function? Like, what'd you do?
I started off in aircraft structural maintenance on the AWACS, which they're starting to retire now, if that dates myself a little bit. And then about halfway through my career, I cross-trained into space operations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Were you at Patrick, your last station,
Yeah.
or?
My second to the last duty
Second to
station
last.
was at Patrick. Yes, sir.
So how'd you end up in Brvard then? You said, I loved it here and I want to.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. My wife and I was like, we're coming back here.
Coming
for
back
sure.
here.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I got two sons in the service as well. One's in the Air Force and one's in the Space Force. So
That's very
Yeah,
cool. Where's
very
he
proud of
stationed in the Space Force?
the Space Force one, Devin is in Vandenberg Space Force Base, and my
Okay.
son Blake is coming over from England to MacDill.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah,
he'll
so
be
it'll be
just
close by.
close
Yeah.
by across the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
Good deal. What was if you had a highlight moment or favorite part about your time in the service, what would it be? Is there one that sticks out to you?
It was kind of scary. I was actually on duty whenever 9/11 happened.
Oh, wow.
I was on crew,
Okay.
and we were processing checklists that were was for real, what an exercise, like DEFCON level changes and all that kind of stuff. So it was like,
Yeah.
it was pretty intense.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet you that it was extraordinarily intense because you didn't know what was next, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of us did at that time.
No, and the building that we were in controlled 70% of the space-based assets, and we didn't know if we were a target or what was going on,
Wow. That's very interesting. Tough times.
Yeah.
Terrible. Well, like I said, we're here to talk about VA jumbo loans. Tell us what a jumbo VA loan is.
Or what
I guess that's a
it kinda
trick
used
question.
to be, yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
a trick
there is
question.
no VA loan limits anymore.
Right.
As far as if you only have one VA loan, there is no limit. So
Right.
yeah.
And that's a big thing. I don't think a lot of people know that there isn't a limit on a VA loan. It used to have a limit.
Yes, correct. It was the county loan limit.
Right.
Yeah. So now there's no limit.
But we still use the term jumbo with VA. So what does that mean to you?
So it's a loan that's over the county loan limit,
Okay.
and but it really doesn't take effect. Man, that's a weird.
Yeah, I know. Way to put it.
Yeah.
So I guess, if I were to explain it, I'd say something like, jumbo would be anything over the county limit, which was 726,200.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
They change it. It's like it's
Yeah,
tough
yeah.
to get the new number in your head.
Yeah.
It's not
As
250.
housing
it's-
pricings go up, then the
Right.
loan limit raises accordingly.
keeps
Yeah.
going up.
Yeah.
And so, even though it's not really considered a jumbo, I think lenders or investors and lenders put rules on top of rules, right? So they're going to have, a lot of lenders have rules on top of rules that say we're only going to do, loans over that county limit if they look like this.
Correct. Yeah, the borrower still has to qualify to
Borrower's
make that
gotta qualify.
payment for that
Wait, I'm eligible for a-
$1.25
yeah,
million
right.
home or whatever.
Yeah.
But so the lender obviously limits the loan amount due to how the borrower qualifies or whatnot. But I just last year had a well-qualified borrower that bought a house on the river, and it was $1.25 million, and
Yep.
walked in with no down payment whatsoever.
That was amazing. I remember that
Yeah.
deal. We've
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
couple of those since, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I love seeing the veteran. They're like, wait, I don't have to put any money down on this house. You
Yeah.
can. You don't have to.
Right.
But you
yeah,
can.
Yeah.
And then that,
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, putting the money down but that gentleman, I can't remember. Did he put money down on that 1.25?
No.
100% financing.
100% financing.
Got his dream home on the river.
Yeah.
And had a great rate.
Yeah.
No mortgage insurance. 100% financing. I don't know of a better loan.
No, there's not.
There's
I mean, there's just not. Yeah.
But you do have to qualify, and this particular person, I believe, was he retired from military, and then he was in the private sector?
He was a retired chief.
Retired chief. Cool. Good. Good deal. And you still talk to him occasionally?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a really nice early Bronco.
Oh.
So we got classic cars, so we kind of...
What year was it? Do you remember?
I think it was in 1970.
Oh, 1970. Okay.
Yeah,
I know the body style.
Yeah, yeah. And somebody walked up to him at one of the local restaurants and offered him $65,000 cash right now.
Wow.
And the guy was like, no.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Is it all redone?
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
Man, I had an 87 Ford Bronco. It was the Eddie Bauer, so it had the blue and the tan.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's still to this day my favorite car I ever had. 4-barrel Holly carb.
Yeah.
And it would like when you were accelerating, you could literally see the gas gauge like go down. You're like
getting past everything but a gas station, right?
Yes, right. And it had a passing gear, so you could like floor it. And then you could floor it a little more and push that passing gear down. Yeah. And then you'd really see that gas gauge go down. And it was, but still, and it had the brights had a button on you use with your left foot.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's like my Mustang.
Yeah.
68 Mustang.
Yeah, dude, that was still my favorite car. Wish I still had it. I actually ended up flipping it. Full-size Bronco. It was on some big tires. That's a whole different story for a whole nother day. But that was up on some hills, and yeah, I really regret that because I probably wouldn't still have it. But man, if I could get that thing back, I'd be.
Yeah, we could go down that rabbit hole and talk about that all day.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I mean?
So going back to the VA jumbo, so there's no mortgage, there's no limit. Now I know lenders put limits on these things to limit their exposure and their risk.
Correct.
But the VA says, look, if you rate it to these standards, there is no limit. It's up to you whether you lend.
Correct. Yep. They guarantee 25% of the loan. That's the reason why you don't have any mortgage insurance. And matter of fact, my son that's just getting stationed over in Tampa, he'll likely be looking here in the next 6 to 8 months.
Cool. I know a great lender to help him out.
Yeah, me too.
Any other thoughts on this program? Like any other things on this one?
No. Well, one misconception is out there that it's somehow or another a way harder loan to do.
The VA.
Yes.
Right.
And that might be in some cases, depending on your lender, right? I mean, like with us, we got VA certified underwriters. We don't have to clear anything through the VA, in other words.
Well, we might talk to the VA, the Rock over there in Tampa.
Yeah.
But our underwriters make the decision, and they're literally sit right out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it makes our process way more streamlined than some of the others for sure.
Yeah, a lot of lenders, they actually have to send it in to an underwriter elsewhere.
Correct.
Or they have to send it to another lender to underwrite their loan.
Correct.
And so now you got loans, guidelines on top of guidelines. The VA has the base guideline. And then lenders put rules on top of those. Those are called overlays.
Overlays, yep.
And we try to keep the overlays to a minimum. Obviously there's some rules that the VA has that like no one's like, I'm not touching that one. VA typically doesn't have a minimum credit score. The VA loans, right?
No. Again, but that's up to the lender.
It's up to the lender. Yeah,
exactly.
And VA doesn't have a maximum loan amount.
Nope.
And there's a couple of rules like that, but it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense for the borrower too.
Just like a conventional loan, other than it's backed by the government.
Correct.
So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned harder to do or not harder. That is a misconception because we're still, our average time from sign loan app to clear to close, we're still under 10 days on average on VA loans. Also
correct. I think that's 8 point something now.
It is crazy.
Yeah,
I know we're pretty fast, and
yeah.
I know other people. We can go down that rabbit hole too about the misconceptions on VA appraisals and all those things. But the main thing that I think the main point we want to talk about was just getting that. If you have a borrower or if you yourself are looking for a loan, and it doesn't fit within what we considered conventional or the financing amount, like it doesn't fit. It fits outside of the normal amount, like the county limits you talked about.
Correct. Yes.
That there still might be they still have to qualify.
Yep.
But there still is potential of doing a VA loan for eligible and qualified veterans.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, Scotty, I really appreciate you coming by and having this talk with us. If you are looking for a VA loan, give Scotty a call. He's very, very familiar with them, does a great job for the borrowers out there, for you all, for clients. But that's about it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already subscribe to our podcast. Like it, share it with the people that you might think will find value in this, and we'll see you next time.